Okay, so I'm Christian,
I'm Anita.
and we're from the Manx Viking Project.
We've been
It's
discussing this from our travels, I think, right the way around.
yeah,
We go
mainly
Shetland, Ireland, everywhere. We just fell in love with history.
yeah,
And at some point, with a Guinness in hand, there was a
yeah,
discussion, wasn't there?
yeah. So especially somewhere like Shetland, the community spirit is so thick, and the heritage there is so thick. And coming back to the Isle of Man, it's like, what are we doing to celebrate our Norse heritage, and why shouldn't we do something ourselves about it if nobody else is? So that's literally the top and bottom of why it came about, and just built from there. I was very fortunate to gain 6 acres of land in 2020, put the planning in for it, which was unanimously approved by the planning committee, and we're now in the early stages of building the first Viking settlement on the island in 1,000 years.
We've got somebody who's really kind of helping us with the fundraising side, who's only just kind of joined, Julie Quayle. She's been an absolute godsend, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has
With
indeed. Yeah,
just making, we've got a new kind of pamphlet with everything in it, so we can get some advertising done and we can get some charity money in. But she's absolutely beautiful. I'll hand over to you about Critch and
yeah.
the rest of the guys.
So the initial sort of founders of the project, and myself and Anita, were best mates, travelled a lot together, and seen a lot of these things that inspired us to come up with this idea. When we were looking at forming as a charity, or late 2023, we needed a committee. So we invited Martin Critchley, who's a good friend of ours, and is very creative, has a brilliant drive to him and everything else, and he's a great person to round off sharp edges on people.
He's salt of
Um,
the earth as well. I
he is,
mean,
yeah,
Martin
really
can
down
get a
to earth.
team of people in when you need them, can't he?
Yeah,
Martin just
so
knows the world.
and then also Claire and David Manser, who are good friends of ours, and got a beautiful meadow down at Thorlty Will, which we spent many nights around the fire with them. David's background is in the finance sector and accountancy, and Claire is an ex-headmaster of St Thomas's Primary School. So we brought them on as sort of like the financial director and the secretary of the charity, and they keep us on the straight and narrow while we're all looking at the stars and dreaming about, what could possibly happen. David and Claire are very good to remind us of what's achievable and what's the
As
right
you said,
right
I
way
like
to
the way
do
you
things.
put it, that they're our moral compass.
Moral compass as
They're
well. Yeah,
very, very good in that standing, aren't
they
they?
are.
When
Yeah.
we have some really quite crazy
Yes.
ideas of what's going to happen over the next few years. And like,
Yes,
yes,
when I try to cut
let's just
corners, I can see it in David's face. It's like, oh no, I've crossed the line here. Yeah, they're
very, very thankful for them. They've
yeah,
been absolutely amazing, taking so much weight off, haven't they?
they have indeed.
With their
Yeah.
help.
It's a very personal project to us. It's been a long time working physically on the site on my own, with the help of some friends. We've had some good wins. We've worked with Mezeron. They've donated a container which has allowed us to consolidate all of the stuff on the site into one place. We've had past good experience with Paul Carey and Sons, helping us with some aggregate and things like that for the site. But because there's nothing actually there at the moment, because we're at a groundwork stage trying to get the land ready to build on, it's very difficult to sell the dream to organisations to get them involved. We've had positive feedback from Manx Wildlife Trust, spoken to their guys. So hopefully in the future, once they see things start to happen, more people will want to get involved, both financially and helping volunteering. So the main goals for me are to create a cultural community hub that celebrates our heritage, that people can come to. It'll be open in a variety of different ways, from like open days and weekends to just being there, just being somewhere that people can just pull into and get a cup of coffee, sit in the longhouse around the fire and have a chat amongst themselves. Or there may be a school trip in there, or there may be a craft fair going on or something like that. So it's a multi-use site, just being there available, even if it's just a couple of people walking on site with a storyteller leading them around the site, going to the stave church and speaking about Norse mythology, and going out to the farmstead in the back field. It can be used in so many ways. We're going to have a permaculture centre there as well, which will hopefully be providing all of the food ingredients that are required for the Viking kitchen on site. so that we can teach people about how to, rather than have their astroturf garden and everything prim and proper, they can actually have a garden that works for them and works for nature as well at the same time in the environment. If we can get phase 1 built, if we can get the main settlement built, there is scope for us to get more land adjacent to the current site. The long-term dream for me personally is to expand into those 3 acres, build a Viking boat lake and a Viking boat yard, and then start building the first Viking boats on the Isle of Man in 1,000 years. And we're not talking full-size Viking boats like the Viking boat races and larger, or the Odin's Raven. We want to start building Viking boats for kids and teaching kids how to sail and work together as a team, and have even like a junior Viking boat races in the future. So the project is limitless. What it can enable as a canvas, the sky's the limit, from everything from mental health well-being to permaculture and the environment, to artistic, cultural arts and crafts. And this is the exciting part of it now, is that we're now getting liability insurance, so we can allow volunteers on site to help. So the plan is now is to get squads. So the likes of Manx Radio, you might wish to put a volunteer squad together, and you will then have a lead volunteer who will liaise with the project, will give you tasks, and you can come up to the site and spend the day up there doing a task towards it. You log your time in, and your names go on the list of people who have helped build the site. So then when it's all built, you can come along, carve your name into one of the beams in the longhouse.
Have a shield, a Manx Radio shield
exactly,
up in the longhouse. That's the idea, isn't
it?
To go,
yes, we were part of this. We helped make this happen, and that's what I want. It's not my project. It's our project. It's the island's project, and we want everybody to say they were part of it.
We have a team when we have our first Uphellier.
Exactly.
Up there,
yeah.
Everybody dressed up as Vikings, and we burn a big Viking ship. That's what'll happen. Yeah. You can go to the manxvikingproject.com. That's the most important. Go and have a look at all the videos. There's a wealth of stuff that's been put up there. And here Christian kind of wandering around the site, and go to our Facebook page as well with the same. Please come and join in, give us some ideas. Let's move forward with everybody involved. As I said, we're going to have another layer of people helping now. That's the next step. If you fancy that, just get in touch and say hi. Yeah,
I've been trying to document as much as possible, because if you actually do a Google search for building a Viking settlement, nobody's built one in the last 20 or 30 years. So it all predates the internet and easy use of digital recording, etc. So there's never actually been a documented build of one. So what we're hoping to do is, as part of this, we were actually approached by ITM Productions in late 2020, asking whether they'd be interested in them doing a documentary, but I didn't really want the pressure at the time of and time constraints of that sort of thing, and doing it artificially just to make it happen quicker. So I turned them down at the time. Instead, I've opted to sort of video document it myself with the drone and so on and so forth. So there's quite a lot of footage, both on Facebook on our Manx Viking Project Facebook page. We're also on YouTube, Manx Viking Project again. So there's quite a few videos on there showing how the site's evolved since 2020. We're hoping that will speed up naturally once more people get involved and things start happening on a daily basis. We're also looking for people who might be doing a college course in filmmaking, etc., who might want to get involved in the video documentary side of the project. Coming and filming, maybe doing some video editing, taking all of that. Because up to now, I've been doing it all single-handedly, and it's burning the candle at both ends, and I do need a little bit of help on that side of things as well. So, although the project is going to be very organic, we're using recycled materials and so on and so forth, there's still a financial element to it. There's some things that we can't beg, borrow, and steal off the land. So. We're always actively looking for funding. This will speed up the project massively. You can get in touch with us via donations at manxvikingproject.com. If you go to our website, manxvikingproject.com, there is a how you can help donations page there. You can do a direct donation. We have got a Just Giving page as well, which is justgiving.com/Manx Viking Project as well. So you can direct donate there. There are flyers that we can hand out. You can request a digital copy of that to put up in your workplace if people wishing to help us that way. And again, if you're wishing to volunteer, There's an email address at volunteer@manxvikingproject.com. It's also a contact page on the website where you can get in touch if you've got any skills that you feel might be useful towards the building of the site. We'd love to hear from you.